Let's head to our senior reporter, Geraint Hughes, who is in Milton Keynes for us today. Afternoon to you, Geraint.
Thanks, Joe. So I'll have a chat with my guest here. Very obvious who it is. It's Dame Jessica Ennis-Hill, heptathlon gold from London 2012. All-round legend, in our opinion. I'll talk to you about Lord Coe in a moment, but I want to have a quick chat with Jess. We've caught up with Jess today in Milton Keynes. I was struggling to ask you, but Jess is a judge later on today with our very own Sky Sports Gary Neville. They're judging, they're looking at young entrepreneurs getting into business. Jess has been very, very key part on this, transitioning her career from sport and trying to get into business as well. I think first things first, Jess, is just tell us what's going on today, because when I see you're a judge, I just keep on thinking Strictly or BGT or something like that. What exactly is going on? You and Gary Neville as judges.
Yeah, it's slightly different. So we're at the Santander.
Well, that's a shame.
You're disappointed. No, we're at the Santander X Awards, so it's a great opportunity for young entrepreneurs, young founders to come and pitch and present in hope to win some funding and also be part of an amazing community to help grow their businesses. So yeah, it should be a fantastic day of some great pitches.
Right, you and Gary Neville, two very high-profile sports people. I remember when you came in to see us at Sky Sports News in our studios last year, you talked about your transition away from sport and trying to find other areas. How challenging an environment is that for, and maybe how much can sports people, a sportswoman of your repute, of Gary Neville's as well, how can that help?
I think it's a really interesting transition, because I think you go from a sports person, spending your whole life dedicated to those key performances throughout your career, but actually that change into retirement it's not often a gradual change, it's a sudden hard change. And I think when you look at the world of business and that entrepreneurial journey, there's so many crossovers with sport and business. The skills that you learn, how to work with a team, getting comfortable with failure and adapting and moving forwards and evolving as an individual, but also as a business. There's lots of learnings there. So it's a really fascinating area to be in as a sports person now.
Listen, good luck with the judging. I think you at about an hour or so's time, you're sitting down on that one. Better you than me on that one. We were just talking about Lord Coe, Seb Coe. Yesterday I spoke with him. I think it's well known that he's going for the election for the IOC presidency. You know Seb Coe. He ran London 2012. That's where you starred. What do you think he could do for the Olympic movement? Because I think there are some calls that it's a bit status quo, a bit stuck in the mud, maybe not leading where it should do on a number of issues surrounding women, and maybe not enough women within the IOC as well. How do you feel about Seb Coe putting his hat in the ring?
Yeah, I think obviously my memories of 2012 and the vision there and what he created was fantastic, and the legacy on the back of that. I think he's such a strong character within the sport and the Olympic movement, and has obviously been there for many years as well as an athlete. So I think what he brings is that great vision, to evolve and to bring a new kind of light onto the Olympics, which is fantastic. And I think if you look at the female perspective as well, I think you said there's one female candidate. I think that's something that I would love to see change. It'd be great to see more women in that kind of, leadership position within the top level of the Olympic movement. But I think Lord Coe is doing a fantastic job and, making some really positive changes.
Yeah, it is only one female candidate among the seven. Seb, though, has made it clear within World Athletics as well, he wants gender parity as well. I think it's an issue. Listen, talking about females in sport, it's one of his pitch points, his manifesto. But I think you and I were talking just as well, just the visibility and the empowerment of women. And perhaps somebody like Seb Coe could help on that front as well when it comes to, there just don't seem to be enough women in top positions away from sports that have been in sport, had careers in sport, but maybe when it comes into administration of running a sport. Yeah,
and I think that comes back to how do you nurture those, incredible female athletes who have been at the top of their sport and experienced so much in their sports and in a range of different environments. How do you nurture them into retirement and into a new area? It's that same transition from sport to business, but using those great minds and those great female voices and learnings to put them in a position where they can offer a different perspective and offer really positive change as well. And I think that's something that I'd love to see, making a real kind of visible change in the next few years.
Yesterday as well on Sky Sports News, we ran a feature about Keely Hodgkinson. who I know you saw win gold in Paris. Do you know you're one of the main reasons she's a track and field athlete? Did you know that?
I'd heard whispers, but I was like, absolutely not. Like, she is the most incredible athlete, and I think she would have achieved the highest heights without my performances. But
she was swimming. She was mainly swimming before she saw you at London 2012.
I mean,
it's your fault.
It's incredible, though. It really does. It kind of brings home, you know, the power of sport. And, you know, for me as an athlete competing at 2012, I was there just to be the best that I could be. But when you look years down the line now, actually, those amazing young kids that we're watching are now dominating the sport and winning medals off the back of a fantastic legacy. And that's obviously an amazing thing to be part of.
One of your roles is to analyse athletic performance as well. How good do you think Keely Hodgkins could be? She's got an Olympic gold. 2025, she's not exactly holding back. You know, her aims are, she's told us, world indoor gold, world championship gold, world indoor world record, and then if over the next year or two, if it's possible, to break a 41-year-old 800-metre record. That's some task.
But I think that's fantastic. I think that with Keely, you know that she wants so much more. You know, we saw those instances where she picked up silver medals at major championships, but that wasn't enough for her. You know, she wanted that next level, that next step, and she's still so young. I think she's got that drive to want to, dominate for the next few years. And the way she's been performing at the top level, the time she's been running, the way she competes so passionately and, you know, fiercely with her rivals, I don't see her stopping for a very long time, which is great for us as spectators.
Yeah. The contrast in where you're here today, where you're trying to help some young entrepreneurs, you know, encourage business, get money flowing that could well come back into sport. Who knows? Just a quick question as well about something when you were an athlete, the funding cycle for the Olympics. I think we're going to get it confirmed soon, but it sounds like, even though we are in incredibly tough times, that the funding for the Olympic and Paralympics, they're not going to rein back. They've seen the success and what the Olympics and Paralympics did over the summer. There seems to be, coming back to the issue sort of around male and female athletes, there seems to be a parity. Women are treated the same as men. The funding is the same. I think the question is, how pleased are you that the athletes going forward to LA 2028, it looks like they're going to get the funding, but also that there is an absolute 50-50 split between female and male athletes?
I think it's fantastic that the funding's there, because without the funding, it puts so much pressure on the athletes to have to juggle jobs and do other things around their sport and not solely focus on training and performing. So that takes a lot of pressure off, which is fantastic. And the medical support's there. All the other, you know, pieces that you need to be at the absolute best are there through funding. I think the whole point that we're equal or becoming more on a level.
Seems strange we're still talking about it, but it's an issue, isn't it?
It does seem strange, but actually, if you look at Paris, it was great to see, you know, women represented in that way, and also those incredible female performances out there. And, you know, creating role models and creating legacy is all about seeing, you know, those amazing performances. And Paris did a fantastic job of that, and it's great to see that funding still being pumped in and that visibility of female athletes being really high.
Just before you go and wield the axe as a judge, one last question. You and I were talking about Sir Chris Hoy. It's a terrifically sad that he's revealed, obviously, his diagnosis with terminal cancer. However, the positive nature in which he's done it just seems extraordinary. You know, Chris, just what do you make of the way he's tried to send a message and some good to come from his situation?
Yeah, I think he's phenomenal. We all know how incredible he is as an athlete, and you know what he's done for our country is just unbelievable. But the thing that stands out for me the most is that he is just one of the nicest people you'll meet. He's so passionate about everything he does. He's got time for everybody, and you know, him and his family are going through the most awful time, but he's, like you say, he's finding the positives. I read a short extract from his book, and he was talking about, you know, the future isn't guaranteed, and you know, he's right. You've got to live in the moment and take opportunities where you can and enjoy life. And yeah, it's hard for me to stand here. I couldn't imagine being that strong, you know, with what he's going through. But I just think he's an incredible, and his wife as well. Like they're an amazing family, and yeah, I just wish them all the best.
Lovely. Listen, Jess, thank you very much for your time. Dame Jessica Ennis-Hill joining us today on Sky Sports News. We've talked about pretty much loads of subjects there. Good luck with your judging.
Thank you.
I don't envy you with Gary Neville. I don't know how it's going to go, but I do hope it goes well. And once again, thanks again for joining us live on Sky Sports News. Dame Jessica Ennis-Hill.